Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the first episode of the Court of Football. Today we have the plaintiff, Ryan Dunn, is suing the defendant, Jesse, for ranking Kyle Trask at QB5 ahead of Mac Jones. We're going to get into some opening statements here in a moment. I just wanted to say that no one is under oath, even though I probably should make you go under oath, because this is basically worse than legal situations here. Apparently, Jesse actually works at a law firm, so I don't really know exactly what we're getting ourselves into here, but this should be interesting. Gentlemen, welcome in, and we'll go to the defendant, Jesse, for his first opening statement.
Yeah, okay, so real quick, I've got 3 basic things I just want to read out for my opening statement. One, I really like Kyle Trask's film a good amount. His best traits in the film that I watch are his quick reads, his accurate ball placement, some truly special throws, and good pocket presence. Also, he's not as immobile as most people think, so I just wanted to throw that in there. Number 2, he is my 5th quarterback on my big board, right in front of Mac Jones, who's number 6. So I'm high on Trask. I'm not exactly super high. He's not my number 3 guy. And finally, number 3, I believe this discussion might come down, or possibly can come down, to either Jones, who's better, either Jones or Trask, as we have them flip-flop in our rankings. So to that effect, I will attempt to demonstrate that Jones played in a better situation with better sounding cast than Trask, and Trask still looked way better on film, in my opinion. Yeah.
All right. And Ryan, time for your opening statement, sir.
Yeah, Your Honor. We're here today to talk about Trask and Jones, right? And I think defendants clearly were on the same page of 1 through 4, where we don't have either one of those guys in our 1 through 4. But it's that number 5 spot that we're really talking about. Who's better? And I think we've all seen head to head that Mac Jones is clearly better. And that's what I'm going to make sure I defend today. The stats show it, the wins show it, the rankings show it. It's all being shown. And Your Honor, I'm going to make sure at the end of the day, you believe that Mac Jones is number 5 ranked quarterback in this year's NFL draft class.
Excellent. And as the judge, I definitely do not have Mac Jones, excuse me, ranked at number 5 already before this happens. But anyway, I will keep an open mind regardless. Defendant Jesse, I have a question for you, sir. So you have Kyle Trask ranked as your quarterback 5. And in this draft, I feel like a lot of people expect 5 quarterbacks to go in the first round. Do you think that Kyle Trask is a first round talent?
I think so. Probably later in the first round for sure. I think a team could possibly trade up into the first to maybe grab him. It's definitely possible, but if Mac Jones goes in the first round, then yeah, I'm in on Kyle Trask going in the first for sure.
So by that statement, you do not think that Mac Jones is a first round talent?
They're pretty close for me, but I think Mac Jones is. Yeah, I think they're both first round talents. Yeah, I would say.
Okay. Okay. Makes sense. And Ryan, so do you believe that Kyle Trask is a first round talent? And I already kind of know your answer, but could you elaborate on that, and we'll get into your first little points here.
Yeah, so when it comes to Trask, I don't see him as a first round prospect. Now, that's not to say that a team won't take the chance of him as a first round. I just think that if they do, it's a reach. I think when you look at Kyle Trask, you look at somebody that he did have a great season. He was 4th in the Heisman voting behind Mac Jones. He lost the head-to-head matchup. Oh, did I just say that out loud? Sorry. Lost the head-to-head to Mac Jones.
I'll allow it.
All out. Mac Jones took more hardware home. But Kyle Trask, I do see him, if he doesn't go in the first round, which I don't think it's happening, I do see him at least maybe early second round, maybe even the mid-second round at that point. I just think that for someone of his talent, you can get him in the second or third without having to reach in the first for him.
Understandable. Jesse, your reply?
Yeah, I mean, I get that. I obviously don't think he's a reach or anything in the first if you were to go there. But yeah, I expect him to go within the first 40 picks for sure. And I think teams would be getting him at a value if he goes in the second round for sure. Yeah, I mean, I'm curious to talk a little bit about Mac Jones a little bit more if we can get into that, because I really like the first 4 guys, and I think there's just a steep decline after that. So it's kind of where my head's at here.
That's fair, yeah. So why don't you guys just get into your first little arguments here, I guess. If you guys want to delve into Mac Jones or Kyle Trask, whoever you guys really want to go.
Yeah,
go for
so
it.
You mentioned the mobility, that it seems Trask seems a little bit faster than people think. Do you know what his 40-yard dash time was?
So I've been getting a lot of reads from people that he was, immovable. Jesus Christ,
Immobile.
Yeah, immobile in the
Go.
pocket. I was getting a lot of that on Twitter, a lot of that from people coming out, and I think he is better than just staying in the pocket and being nothing. Like he actually maneuvers the pocket really well. Not saying he's like a rusher or anything like that. That won't be a part of his game. Unless it has to be. I mean, I think he had some rushing touchdowns. I will say, I think he had like 2 or 3. But yeah, I mean, it's not a big part of his game, obviously, but it is. I just want to dispel the narrative that he can't move around the pocket. And he's just like a Nick Foles in the pocket. He's not like that at all.
So if I told you that Mac Jones was faster, would you be open to hearing that?
But yeah, if he's faster, sure.
Yeah. So Mac Jones did run a 4.68,
and
then Kyle Trask ran a 4.98. I think when you look at the mobility, I think Mac Jones. I hear it too. I hear exactly what you're saying. Like Kyle, that's not Kyle Trask's game. He's not a runner like a Justin Fields or Trevor Lawrence has to their game now. He just is more mobile than Trask is, and the arm talent has been shown by Mac Jones as well to be better than what Kyle Trask has shown.
I mean, from the deep ball, sure, I guess. But I feel like Mac Jones had a way easier time throwing to 2 open wide receivers all the time downfield for most of the time when he was, or at least last year on Alabama. And I think that's kind of the crux of where, I think there's a distinction here because, Kyle Trask was throwing two very good receivers, I think. I'm going to say Pitts is a receiver because, God, he really feels like one. I mean, but yeah, him and Tony are like good players for sure. And I think there's similarity between that. But Mac Jones has 2 guys who probably should go in the top 10. And he is throwing to wide open receivers way more than any quarterback I saw in the college football, at least going in the top 6 last year. So I really think, honestly, it's if I'm picking between the 2 who had a harder situation there, Mac Jones just throwing open guys downfield. I will also say, sorry to Gish Gallop a little bit here, but Mac Jones was he was the first in deep yards with 1,355, which is a lot. And sure, deep yards, maybe there's a little connection on the quarterback, but from what I saw on film, he was throwing to just open receivers downfield. And he also was second in college football in screen yards, which was 591. Now, Trask, on the other end, he, let me pull up the numbers.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I know. I went a little bit. He was 4th in deep yards with 1,269. And then screen yards, he had 278, which is ranked 27th. So I kind of feel like going into the stats a little bit, there is a little bit of disparity here that I think favors Trask, honestly. I don't know how you feel about that, though.
Well, I'm going to give you some stats of 2 quarterbacks, of both Trask and Mac Jones, and I just want you to tell me who you think.
No, just random guys.
2 random guys. No, just 2 stats, and I want you to tell me who you think had the better game in the situation. So this quarterback had 400 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, and a rating of 175.4. And this quarterback had 418 yards, 5 touchdowns, 1 interception, and a rating of 192.1. Who had the better rating, QB1 or QB2? Who had a better game, excuse me?
Kind of feels like QB2 did.
Okay. Yeah, that would be Mac Jones.
We have a comment from a viewer saying that Kellen Mond is greater than Kyle Trask.
Somebody kick that viewer out of here. I'm just kidding.
No, I know.
Can we agree on that? Yeah.
No. But yeah, so yeah, with Mac Jones, and honestly, the completion percentage was better as well. He only had 10 incompletions that game, and Kyle Trask had 14. And I look now there is no doubt that game between Florida and Alabama, the SEC championship game, was a phenomenal game. It was a great game, and I wish there would have been a second game of that one. But I get what you're saying too about wide open receivers, top 10 prospects. These guys are going to the NFL. These receivers are all going to be NFL prospects and NFL players. So it's kind of a good thing when you see this quarterback, playing and making connections with NFL talented receivers. And I get what you're saying. It's easier for a quarterback of his caliber. But honestly, at the end of the day, I just look at Kyle Trask and I just think that he doesn't have the deep ball accuracy more often compared to Mac Jones.
So I think I need some answers real quick. Who do you think had a better receiving group or a better overall team in college football last year?
I can't lie. And there's zero doubt.
You're under oath. You cannot lie.
You're right. I see. I can't. There's zero doubt Alabama that does. But the thing is, too, this is the SEC. It's considered the toughest conference in college football, and people may want to say, "Oh, it's because it's Alabama versus everybody else." True, it is, but at the same time, Alabama's defense was not the usual Alabama defense that you are used to seeing, which is what Kyle Trask faced. And I did pick Florida to win the SEC. I actually felt confident in Florida beating Alabama. This is before the season even started, so I had confidence in Florida to beat Alabama. But then as the season progressed, and I just saw the dominance, but not only by Alabama, but Mac Jones as well at the quarterback. When your quarterback is playing great, everything else is just better as a team.
Sure. We have a couple comments here from viewers real quick. We have a question. Did Florida have a running back like Najee Harris to help his team get touchdowns, though? I'm sure Trask had more air yards that game. Ryan, if you would like to defend that point there real quick.
No, he did not. Najee Harris is no doubt a probably top 2 prospect in this year's draft, depending on where you rank Najee Harris. Now, I understand that. More air yards, I mean, depends on what you consider air yards. If you consider yards down the field, Kyle Trask probably did. But at the same time, Mac Jones, in my opinion, outdueled Kyle Trask. And yeah, Najee Harris had a heck of a season, and he played phenomenal. But Kyle Trask just doesn't compare to Mac Jones at the end of the day. The awards show it as well. Kyle Trask didn't take any awards. Mac Jones took home 3. Davey O'Brien, Johnny Unitas, and then a different one that I'm forgetting right now.
And then we have another comment from a viewer simply saying Mac greater than Trask. So take that as you will.
I mean, do awards translate into NFL success though? I feel like that's not always the case, right?
They don't. And that's true. I mean, you could say a lot of people have won the awards and haven't had any success, i.e. Troy Smith, for example, won the Heisman, didn't do anything. Johnny Manziel. There's so many guys, and it's true. But when you're ranking and you're looking at the head-to-head matchups and find out who is better, and I'm not even going to bring up pro days because pro days are just stupid in my opinion. Like I
agree with that.
Yeah,
pro days, 100%.
If you look at
judge does concur that pro days suck.
Yeah. It's just because you never want to say, "Oh my God, he threw to a wide open receiver with t-shirt and shorts on." It's just stupid. So don't ever count.
About the awards thing, Mitch Trubisky won Nickelodeon Valuable Player, and he was the most successful. So that's good. And then Jimmy French from Twitter, shout out Jimmy. A good quarterback raises the running backs and wide receivers floor. Mac greater than Trask.
Well, couldn't you make the same argument about Trask though? I mean, he has good players. Do you not think that he raises, Tony and Pitts? I feel like he does as well.
So
fair point.
Pitts though, I think anyone could have had a lot of success with Pitts. Pitts is just this one of a kind prospect, and I get what that comment's saying too. We're running like a quarterback has to elevate players to become better. Pitts is just a one of a kind prospect that would have flourished under Alabama and Nick Saban. Like, there's zero doubt about that with Mac Jones throwing the football as well. It's just I don't think Trask made Pitts better. I think Pitts made Trask better at the end of the day.
We have another pro Trask comment here. Without the time management mistakes on Florida's side that game, Trask plays just as well as Mac.
I mean, sure. I could say the exact same thing about Mac Jones. Though he had 2 wide receivers who were probably going in the top 10, maybe the top 10. I just feel like any kind of our conversation that we talk about who is the better talent, especially receiving. I mean, did Kyle Trask have 2 Pitts? I feel like Mac Jones had 2 insane wide receivers. I mean, right?
Jalen Waddle did not play the whole year though, and Mac Jones was still playing lights out football at quarterback. And I understand, I get what you're saying too. Like, there's at the end of the day, he's got 2 outstanding receivers. Plus, if you go back to last year, he had Jerry Jeudy,
Heisman Trophy winner,
Heisman Trophy winner, and he had Jerry Jeudy and Henry Ruggs last year. But this is kind of showing you that when he's got the NFL talent out there at receiver, he's still having success. Sometimes these quarterbacks are not making good throws. Like we saw Kyle Trask against Oklahoma. We can point there and say, well, his weapons weren't there, but the quarterback still has to make the right reads and the right throws to make sure they're not intercepted like he was 3 times against Oklahoma and 0 touchdowns to his name.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, that's a fair point. I try not to look at microcosms of games to compare because, I mean, I'm sure I could find a similar opponent, although I didn't do the research on it, where Kyle Trask had a better game than Mac Jones. I don't know if that makes makes
Should
me
have
feel
done
like
your research.
yeah,
Should've
I
done your
didn't do
research.
that research for game-to-game thing, to be fair. But I'm sure I could find games where he had better. I mean, I'm just looking at the PFF rankings for how well these quarterbacks did, just by the
I'll
PFF
allow it.
ranking. I don't know if that's admissible in court, but I feel like it is.
I'll
And I
allow
mean,
it.
Kyle Trask had a 92.5 ranking against Arkansas, and Mac Jones had a 72.8. So I feel like comparing different quarterbacks into specific games, just I don't know how I feel about that. Sure, people don't like PFF. I get that.
The
But
comment's hilarious.
yeah, I will
Jesus
trust PFF more
Smith.
than random commenters. I will say that. So
By Teo's girlfriend 6.
That's Jimmy Francis, my boy on Twitter. I love him. He's
awesome.
worthy. He's worthy.
I love it. So I'm not gonna compare and nick and knack every single little game, but I will say Kyle Trask, yeah, I know he played great against Alabama, but he finished the season on a 3-game losing streak. Which you don't want first off, and against Texas A&M, yeah, he played great, but he still lost to Texas A&M, and Alabama just blew the brakes off Texas A&M as well. I hear your point. I'm not gonna nitpick certain games and go bit by bit because different teams show up differently on game days. It's just it's weird. Sometimes you don't get it's just who doesn't show up, whatever it is.
Yeah, football's a crazy game, right? I mean,
Yeah,
11 on 11, right? Like all the time. So I don't put too much stock into winning, but I get that more stock for quarterbacks. Sure.
Correct. I mean, winning is when you win, who gets the credit?
The quarterback every time.
Coach. Yeah,
it's
sure.
the quarterback. And even though people can say, well, Tom Brady didn't win all 7 Super Bowls by himself, it's true. He had to have a great team to do it. But you still, if your quarterback is not playing great, your team will feel it. And it hurts morality to see your quarterback suck and your offense suck. And so when Mac Jones was out there lighting it up, the rest of the team is following behind him because their leader is showing the way. And I'm not saying that Kyle Trask is not a leader, but at the same time, I know that Kyle Trask is not that good of a prospect compared to Mac Jones.
Taking notes.
All right, this is a little bit of a pivot here, but I'm curious. What are your reasons for liking Mac Jones more? I feel like we haven't gotten into your specific reasons why you like him so much better or better.
I think Mac Jones under Nick Saban's head coaching regime, I think he's done a great job taking what was given, right? Like the first year when Tua went down, he was thrown right into it, right? Like your star quarterback is gone. Now you are here to lead the way. Yeah, he lost to Auburn. I understand that. But he still had a great season the following year where he was the guy, and I love his pocket presence too. Yeah, people want to say his Alabama's offensive line, they're really good. But people want to try and say, oh, he's just a distributor. Well, duh. It's a quarterback. You have to distribute the football. If you don't, then these guys aren't going to catch him. So
what do you mean by distributor? Or what does that mean? Sorry.
Like field general?
Yeah, like a field general. People try and say that he's maybe just doing a lot of short passes too. But I know Mac Jones is a great deep ball thrower as well. And if you're in a system where, hey, these passes are short passes a lot of times too, what's he going to do? He's going to say no to Nick Saban and not run those plays? No, he's going to say yes and run those plays. But I think Mac Jones just has a better arm talent too. I think he's got a stronger arm compared to Kyle Trask. I think Trask might be a little more accurate. I don't know. I still think Mac Jones might I think I have to see him more, like maybe a little bit more film on both of them and see how they do during preseason, like gameplay. But I think Kyle Trask just doesn't have the arm strength compared to Mac Jones.
All right, Mr. Dunn, your time is up, and we're gonna give the floor to Jesse for a little while.
Yeah, sure. All right, sure. I mean, I think I would disagree on the arm strength. I don't know if either of these guys have great arms, and I don't care also too much about that for projecting prospects. I think there were some times where he did underthrow some deep balls because man, those guys are just always open downfield. But yeah, I think Mac Jones again is a fine prospect. I think you outlined some things that are pretty good. His pocket presence, I would agree, is pretty good. I think Trask makes better reads than he does, and he's also, which I really like, which is also why I have my number 2 prospect ranked as Zach Wilson. I think ball placement is super important, especially in the NFL and short routes. He's got some great ball placement that I don't really see with Mac Jones. But yeah, those are just some 2 quick things. I don't know if my screen yards thing came across as well as I wanted it to or whatever like that, but I just feel like I think you could agree or possibly agree for screen yards. Does the quarterback matter at all?
Yes. I think because first off, quarterback has to know when to kill the play. Because when on a screenplay, if the defender reads it, kill it. So your screenplay does matter for a quarterback. I get it for yards. So you're talking about yards in general.
Mm-hmm.
You got to make sure. I mean, yeah, it does matter because of the fact that you got to make sure at least it's a good pass. Like you got to lob it over defender to make sure it gets to the running back or receiver, whatever kind of screenplay it is, and you got to make sure that's good. So it's not. Is it fully like going to the quarterback? No, it should not like be. Oh my god, what a great screen pass! But at the same time, the quarterback's got to make the right throw on the screen.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay, sure, yeah. I feel like the disparity there is a lot bigger, and I kind of feel like it underlies the point that Mac Jones was more carried, I think, than Trask by his receiving group. Not to say they both weren't, because they obviously had, both are having prospects that are going to go in the top 10, possibly 3. So, like we've been saying, so I think they both probably benefited from that. But yeah, I feel like if we're trying to outline, what the quarterback did specifically without the weapons, because you never know what kind of situation these guys are going to be in. I mean, we never know what it's going to be like, right? And it might not be a good situation, especially if Mac Jones goes to like early enough, maybe not San Fran, but early enough. So I'm trying to, outline that with some statistical backup, right?
And I just want to say really quick, I'm not really a fan of. I feel like Justin Fields should be number 2. You said Zach Wilson. I'm just gonna go off. That was I just want to throw that in there. But yeah,
we could do a separate court case on that later.
Yeah, sorry, I threw that in there. Probably shouldn't have. Yeah.
No, you're fine. I was just like But anyways, with Justin, I mean, as a Michigan fan too, you ever see that from a Michigan fan saying Justin Fields should be up there? No.
I'm a Penn State fan, yeah, so I guess.
Oh, geez. Okay, thanks. Anyways,
great.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think there are some disparities when it comes to like the style of like the systems that both these quarterbacks were in. Like Mac Jones, probably a little more screen heavy compared to Kyle Trask, who may have seen a little more down the field. And you're talking about reads, and you feel like Mac Jones made some good reads. And unfortunately, we live in a "what have you done for me lately" society, right? We kind of like what are results lately? The last game I saw Kyle Trask play was against Oklahoma. He didn't do good. Matt Jones lit up Ohio State. And he had Devonta Smith, a hobbled Jalen Waddle, really. So I don't even think he was really playing that game. So, but Kyle Trask, the last 2 games, the last game I saw from each of them was just huge disparities at the end of the day.
Yeah, I consider myself an anti-reactionary. So anything like where you're like last game of the season or any of that kind of stuff, I try and buck as much as possible. But yeah, I'm not sure how to say too much about that, but yeah, I just don't like reactionary takes. And I get both these guys, could be considered like 1-year wonders and stuff. So there is a little bit of that, but I mean, we saw a 1-year wonder go first overall last year. So, and I really do feel like Trask took a next step. I don't want to call him like a Burrow next step, but he took a very nice next step, which I thought was really great. He is a little bit older. I get that too. But quarterbacks older. Yeah, but the quarterbacks play till they're like 38 now. So.
Yeah. If you're Brady, you played to 50 at this point.
Yeah, right. Yeah, sure.
True. But I mean, that's a good point. I think age is definitely a factor too. Who was it? Like Brandon Weeden when he was drafted to the Browns. How old was he? He was like 28, something like that.
Yeah, he was some ridiculous age. Yeah,
he was stupid old. But and yeah, no, but yeah, honestly, at the end of the day, you said quarterbacks. As long as you have a good, successful career, you can play until you're 38, 39 years old, as long as you're following the TB12 method at this point, it seems like. But yeah, I can't argue with age there.
Yeah, okay. I feel like I got a lot of my points out. How you feeling?
Ooh, I don't know. I had a lot of stuff written down, and maybe I just got to throw out there for the judge.
Yeah, throw it out. Yeah.
We can do some cross examination. You guys can like ask each other like 3 questions. You just want like simple answers to try to like push your narrative.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know who should go first. I guess you guys can kind of.
I'll go first. I'll start with one question. So, do you feel that Kyle Trask? Do you think he will go in the first round?
Oh God, predicting the NFL draft is like doing like star readings. Like it's impossible to tell. I think he should. I don't. If I'm gun to my head, what I'm predicting, I don't think he will.
Okay. And then who takes him?
I could see a team like the Bears or possibly Denver trading up in the second round, maybe to grab him. I don't know if he goes. Maybe New England is smart and takes him. That'd be super cool. I don't think they'll do it at 15. In fact, I don't think they stay at 15 no matter what they do. Yeah, does that answer the question?
It does. And then last one, where does Mac Jones go then?
He shouldn't go 3. I'll tell you that. He definitely shouldn't go 3. And I could see him falling as far as 20 to theirs.
Oh, so why? Okay, so I'm done.
I'll answer that. Why
I didn't really have
Elaborate
anything,
more.
honestly.
No, what I feel like you were going to say is why should we trust? Which is not to be like a dick or anything.
Yeah. Why should we?
Yeah.
So why should Mac Jones not go up that high?
Oh well, I mean, I think we both agree on that, right? We have 4 quarterbacks in front of him.
No, I agree. But I think sometimes it's a system fit too. Sometimes these quarterbacks fit a little bit system a little bit better. And I think Kyle Shanahan feels that Mac Jones will fit his system, even though it may be a little bit of a higher pick. Like I personally think that Justin Fields should go to San Fran because I had a number 2, but San Fran, everything that's coming out doesn't seem like it's going to go to San Fran at this point. It seems like it's going to be Mac Jones or Trey Lance, but it seems like that Mac Jones, Kyle Shanahan feels that Mac Jones is going to be the guy to take over for the system, and I think that's why he's going to end up at 3 because of his system.
Did you guys see his press conference earlier today? It was like, how can you say nothing but say something for like half an hour?
Yeah,
he gave us nothing.
No.
But he was on the podium for like an hour. It was ridiculous.
And then he was like, "Oh, I don't know who's even going to be alive on the roster on Sunday." People were like, "Oh, are you going to kill him or something?"
He's like, I can't tell you who's going to be the starter because I can't even guarantee they're going to be alive on Sunday. And that goes for all of us. Like, what are you talking about, man?
Right.
Come on,
dude. It's just a simple football question: is Jimmy Garoppolo going to be there? Yes or no? Which overall, I don't even agree. I think Jimmy Garoppolo should. This is a whole topic, but I think Jimmy Garoppolo should be the starter. But we're getting way too much. We're getting off track from the task.
The judge's opinion on Jimmy Garoppolo is that his injuries are too much of a concern.
Okay, well, we are focused on Trask and Jones.
Yeah,
too off topic.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I will also. I feel like there was another question in there that I think is fruitful or important to answer. Like, why should we trust random no-name me over the NFL scouts who are going to have obviously Mac Jones go ahead of Kyle Trask? Why should we do that? And I'll just point out the fact that look, they've been wrong a lot before, and I've seen what I see with my own eyes, and I trust my eyes currently. So that's just how I feel about that. Yeah. But that is an argument to be said. The NFL teams get to talk to these guys, they get to talk to their coaches, they get to do a lot more research than I do. I have a day job. So I get that argument for sure. Take that into account. But I don't care. We've gotten it wrong with Brandon Weeden before, right? So like I'm a Jaguars fan, so I know how we struggle with picking quarterbacks, even when we take them highly.
You better not struggle with Trevor Lawrence at this point. But when you look at the quarterbacks, like it's kind of funny that of those 5-6 quarterbacks, they're not all gonna have success. Like the stats show it. Numbers show that they're all not gonna have success. And I actually have a show coming out tomorrow where I talk about the worst quarterback draft class of all time. That's a 2007 draft class.
Who is it?
Oh, 2007, led by Jamarcus Russell, Brady Quinn, John Beck, Kevin Cobb, Tyler Thigpen. You know who's the only quarterback out of that entire class who lasted a long time in the NFL?
Who?
Matt Moore. He was never even drafted. Everybody else was just scrubs.
I always think of the 2013 draft was that, or maybe 2012, whatever Blake Bortles was taken in, or Blaine Gabbert was taken in. Maybe it was 2011.
That was 2011. Well, I don't know. You had Cam.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I always forget. Okay, but it was like Jake Locker, Blaine Gabbert, like Christian Ponder, and I just remember that being total crap.
That draft was terrible.
It was real bad. But yeah, okay, all right.
You have a question here from the comments, real quick.
This is for me, or I'll answer first. Well, I will say, and this is an unpopular opinion, and maybe this will sway people in the opposite way, but I don't like Herbert, and I still don't like Herbert. So maybe you could say I missed on him, but yeah, I still
don't like Herbert.
Yeah, I still don't like Herbert.
Ooh, jeez.
Why?
Oof.
Look, man, I think we should save this for another discussion because I'd love to come on and talk about it.
Well, it's only been half an hour. We're already kind of winding down, so we can kind of just talk after this. But that's like on stream still. But like that's interesting. Anyway,
yeah.
Sorry.
He's one you could say.
I'm sorry. The Wi-Fi is cutting out over here.
Oh, you're fine. I can hear you still.
Shoot.
Yeah, I can hear you. Do you want to?
Are you guys there?
Yeah, we're here.
Yes, we're here. I don't know if he is. Anyway, whenever he figures that out, we're fine. I just need to put something in the private chat real quick. I haven't really been evaluating quarterbacks that long.
Hello?
Hi, we can hear you.
Aye.
Yes or no? Look stressed.
Yeah, throw that in the chat. Yeah, or the private chat. Yeah.
Anyway, but I don't. He left. I don't know if there is a quarterback that I've thought that was going to be good and I thought was bad. I didn't think Josh Allen was going to be good. But I haven't really had an experience yet where I thought a quarterback was going to be good and he was bad. I guess I thought Haskins was going to be good. But I wasn't really like that sold. So I don't really know. And I didn't think Josh Rosen was going to be good. So that was a W.
Nice. Yeah.
I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, we can still hear you that entire time, by the way.
Oh, good. What did I say?
Oh, you were just like, hello, are you guys still there?
I won the debate. It's over. I want to leave in
that's
shame.
it?
That's what I heard.
Okay.
Yeah,
So do I have a chance to answer now?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I don't agree with the Justin Herbert thing.
Yes,
that's
obviously.
the last I heard, honestly. Actually, I was talking about so far. I've been right about Tua. I really feel that he's going to be the guy. I just think that when he was coming out, I think there was too much hype with Tua, and I just don't think he's going to be the guy really long term for the Dolphins. I just think that I don't know. Something about him. I think there's too much hype from him coming out of college.
That's fair.
I'll make a bet that Tua has a better career than Herbert.
Ooh.
I'll make that bet any day. I'll make that bet any day.
I'll take that bet. How much?
Yeah,
bet, but I'll bet.
I don't know how to posture, but we'll make a Twitter bet or some shit like that, man. I'll do whatever. Because I really believe that.
All right.
So, what do you consider a better career?
I mean,
he's gone.
Leaving in shame again. You know, I just yeah. I mean, I think I don't know what is a sock bet.
Jimmy made a guy eat a sock.
I'm not gonna eat a sock, but
No.
Okay.
Ryan, what's going on over there?
It's the Wi-Fi, man. But everything is like off.
No, I'm kidding.
I understand. But okay, so repeat your answer because I missed it.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like if it's close, we could call it whatever it is. But like, I think we'll probably know by like, the end of their career. You know what I mean? I don't know how to like quantify it too much, but like I think we'll know.
Okay. All right, fair enough.
It'll be interesting. But yeah, Ryan, have you missed on a quarterback yet? Like I read the question as who was the guy you thought was going to be good but ended up being bad?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I definitely read that wrong then. Who was good and I thought then turned out to be bad. Man.
My answer was Dwayne Haskins, kind of. I thought he was going to be solid. He turned out to be pretty bad.
Jake Locker.
I'm too young for that, but it's okay.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I've heard of him, but I don't really like know his story as a prospect.
The thing with Jake Locker is he actually wasn't that bad. It was just he got hurt so often, and he just never could get a full season like going in a full career. So, but I thought he was going to be a great long-term quarterback. I didn't think he was going to be like blowing people away or anything, but I thought he was going to be a great, solid quarterback for a long career, and he was one that just did not work out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get that. That was also the lockout year too, I think, right?
What's that?
I think it was the lockout year too. So like everyone had like a really like unfortunate off season.
No, that was the year of Cam.
Yeah. So it wasn't okay. Yeah.
No, that wasn't the same year. God, Lee.
Yeah. All right, cool. I'm pretty sure I remember that.
All right,
this comment's funny. He's really like Ethan's like 16, so this is pretty funny.
Tom Brady's a prospect. Tom Brady looks like he was a lawyer that missed the court case.
All right, gentlemen, why don't we get into our closing statements here from both sides, and I will make my decision.
Yeah, who do you want to go first? You know what? You go first. I want first opening statements. You can go first, man.
Okay. So, Your Honor, so clearly all the arguments I presented today show that why Mac Jones is the number 5 quarterback over Kyle Trask. The wins head-to-head, the trophies, the stats, he had more yards, less interceptions, better pocket presence, better IQ. Everything just shows that Mac Jones is clearly the better prospect over Kyle Trask. And believe what you want, Kyle Trask is probably not going to go in the first round compared to Mac Jones at the end of the day.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Dunn. Jesse, what would you like to have to say before we wrap up here?
Yeah, my closing statement is as follows. Jones' full name is Michael McCorkle Jones, and with a dumb nerd name like McCorkle, how can you ever truly be a winner quarterback one in this league? I mean, for real. But on a less memey note, I think that Trask did more with less, and I like his film more. I think his quick reading ability, his pocket presence, and his ball placement put him above Mac Jones for me.
Interesting. Well, the court rules in favor of the plaintiff, Mr. Dunn, not being biased in my ranking ahead of time. I just feel like he made some really solid points. My favorite point being, as I wrote down, I really like the Jalen Waddle injury argument because Mac Jones played really well the rest of the season. Even without Jalen Waddle, still granted he had Devonta Smith. But in games where we saw Kyle Trask with less weapons, granted he was missing like all of his weapons, he played like absolute garbo. Which is really concerning to me. But like I said, I wasn't trying to be too biased here. You also said that Mac Jones could fall to 20, which I think is a bad take. Sorry, sir. And also, I just like his picture of Mac Jones.
Wait, my picture of Mac Jones? Oh, okay. All right.
If that doesn't compare to Tom Brady, when Tom Brady was going to the combine, I don't know what. Yeah, it's a prospect. I don't know what does at that point.
No, I seriously, that was a really good debate. I like that a lot, guys. Yeah, it actually was close. I was deciding down to the closing statements which side I was going to pick. Just for the record. My mind was not made up.
Hard. Shoot.
Right.
No, I did love the meme, but I had to take it serious in the end.
No, for sure.
Jimmy liked the Garbo comments. He also liked put a McCorkle in it. And, Ethan said Trask greater than Mac because of the hair. Didn't you just say that Mac was greater than Trask? Like,
yeah, he did.
Anyway, and then Jimmy says the court is adjourned, and it is. Just real quick though, I do want to get just a couple more bits of information out of you, Jesse, about why you hate Justin Herbert so much, because apparently you're a sociopath.
Sure, man. I really love to discuss this stuff more in depth for sure. But like I said, I'm an anti-reactionary. I watched a lot of Herbert film. We saw him play a lot of quarterback, a lot of starting quarterback in college, and it wasn't all good. In fact, it was all pretty bad. Or not all pretty bad. It was bad at a lot of points. I also think
Jesse, he is not in college anymore.
He's not in college, but he's only been in the NFL for 1 year. I mean,
he also had the best rookie quarterback season of all time.
Yeah, I mean, sure. I've seen rookies win like rookie of the year stuff and haven't panned out. So RG3? I don't. I was going to mention RG3. There are a few other quarterbacks
due to injury.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we don't really know where Herbert's thing. He's going to have a new coach. I feel like a lot of his production was not there. There were a lot of deep balls that he just kind of threw out there that were wide open guys for touchdowns that I was not really a fan of. His collapse against New England was pretty bad. And I will say Tua had a pretty good game against New England, especially comparatively.
Counterpoint, you said you were not a reactionary.
True.
Yeah, you said you don't dissect
I'm
games.
just saying, we have a limited basis for these guys, and people are really all in on Herbert. Like he's like a top 5 guy or will be like that. And I really need to push back against that narrative. Because I don't think Herbert is a bad quarterback. I just think he's like a middle of the road quarterback, and I don't know if he'll ever be great or good.
My thing with Herbert when he was coming out of
the duality of man.
When Herbert was coming out of college, my only thing I ever had against him was we didn't see like the rah kind of guy from him. He was just kind of like kept to himself. It seemed like
very laid back.
Yeah, very laid back. Just kind of did what he did. That was my only thing. I was kind of like, how's he gonna do with like men looking for him to lead, but he just does it on the field. He just shows this is how I'm going to play and get behind me. We're going to go get some wins. And he did. I mean, he had a best rookie season of all time. And it's hard to say that I don't see Herbert. I do see Herbert having a great, successful long-term career.
Yeah, I very much don't agree. We'll have to see how it turns out. And if we will talk about this, I will come with more information. But that's my basic spiel. Yeah, I think he's also wildly inconsistent game to game. And I think the New England game highlights that. I am not a reactionary again. That's why I don't think 1 year of production sells me on a quarterback for being like a top 10 guy going forward for the rest of like dynasty quarterback too and all that stuff. I'm just really not there.
Is sophomore slump a real thing? Do you think?
It could be. I think once teams get a lot more film on you, it does become harder sometimes for sure. That could happen with Herbert. We'll see. I mean, like the comments. I mean, Baker had a sophomore slump too. Who would I rather have, Baker or Herbert?
For a real life NFL team.
Yeah, for a real life NFL team. I mean, I kind of feel like
don't say Baker.
It's close. I'm not ready to decide how I feel about long term.
You have to decide.
You're the GM.
Yeah.
No.
If I'm the GM right now, I'm taking Baker.
Oh, jeez, man.
Get the hell out of my courtroom, sir.
Oh, man. Well, speaking of sophomore slumps.
Yeah.
So Baker had a sophomore slump. Lamar did not have a sophomore slump. He actually just had an MVP type season. Which I'm not really
went against the narrative.
Huh?
I really went against the narrative, especially for a rushing quarterback.
Correct, yeah. But yeah, I'm sorry. Between the thing with Baker is he got the right coach. I feel that believed in him, but he kept everything kind of like made it easier for Baker. You know, you're handing out to two of some of the top running backs in the NFL, and you keep everything, play action pass, roll out with Baker. He had a lot of success. But Justin Herbert, I think for a better long term with a higher ceiling, I think the best is yet to come for Justin Herbert.
I think we'll. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Look, I see more of Baker, so I'm more comfortable with him in an NFL situation. He definitely isn't as much of he's going to win the game for you like Herbert theoretically can. So I totally get that. Yeah, I just
Jesse Drew Lock or Justin Herbert.
Yeah, it's Herbert. And it's not even close.
Oh, okay. Drew! I was so high on Drew Lock too. I guess maybe that should have been one of my answers too. I felt like for the missed on, I felt Drew Lock was actually going to be a solid quarterback, and again, you gave him all the weapons last year, and he still struggles. So
I don't think he's ever going to do anything. Unfortunately, I really think that Denver should trade up for a quarterback in this year's draft for sure.
Well, they're picking. What are they picking at again?
9. I have them trading up to 4 for Justin Fields on a lot of my mocks.
Fields may fall to them at 9.
Yeah, that'd be.
Dude, I think 2 prospects we could very realistically see fall on draft night are Justin Fields and Devonta Smith.
Yeah, Smith thing may be the size thing.
It would.
I just had a mock that. Speaking of Justin Herbert, I had a mock I did yesterday. It was kind of like a little bold. I just wanted to do some more out there stuff because stuff like that happens on draft night. And I had a mock with them falling into the Chargers' lap at I think 14. And dude, imagine that offense with Keenan Allen, Devonta Smith, and Mike Williams. That'd be nasty. And Herbert, obviously. That'd be so fun to watch.
God, if only they didn't lose Hunter Henry.
Oh my God! Right.
Like that would have been so insane. Like all those weapons.
Cook, right? I think instead. I think next this year, right? They signed Cook, or is that May? Because I know there was a little bit of
I think they did sign Cook, but Hunter Henry when he's healthy.
Yeah, for sure.
That's been the knock against Henry.
Better offensive line will be good.
Oh yeah, definitely for sure. I think their best prospect fit is probably Darisaw or Slater if he falls to them. But we'll see what happens there. I think it's going to be – I'm really excited for draft night. I do a lot of social media stuff, social media management. I'm going to be doing a live show for fun with my buddies from my podcast I do and live tweeting the draft for 4 different social media brands. So it's going to be quite a time.
Hey, if the Cincinnati Bengals do not take an offensive lineman, I have no hope for the team.
It kind of feels like they won't as much as they should.
Bengals fans are 50-50.
I'm a Colts fan, and let me tell you, when Andrew Luck
decides,
we're
just the opposite because you're Michigan Colts, I'm Penn State Jaguars. Man, we are just
we're just all over the place. But when Andrew Luck retired, I was literally watching the Miami Hurricanes and the Florida Gators football game, and that thing came across the bottom of the screen. I thought it was some kind of sick joke. I was like, "Who the heck is doing this to me right now?" And my heart was broken. And so if I'm the Bengals, all I can say is, look what happened to Andrew Luck. He was hurt. He kept getting hurt.
That's what I tell him too.
Take an offensive lineman. Do not do anything else.
The argument always is that this offensive line class is very deep, and they'll get a quality guy in the second round. But my counterpoint is, I think the value difference in getting a almost damn near guaranteed prospect in Sewell, and then getting a very solid wide receiver and a guy like Rondale Moore, Terrace Marshall, Elijah Moore in the second round. I feel like the quality difference there is extreme.
Yeah, I think the receiver class is just as good as what it was last year. I think.
Yeah.
You might as well stretch the luck in fantasy draft.
5 minutes.
That's awful.
That's hilarious.
But I agree though. If you have the chance to get top tier, this guy is going to protect your quarterback. He's got to have time to actually get to the receiver. That's always been my arguments. You build your offensive line. That's basically your your front wall for your quarterback to make sure he has a long career. Like receivers will get open eventually, especially with the way the rules of the NFL are. Like they're gonna get open eventually. Just give them the offensive line to give them time to find the receiver.
Receivers are also a lot easier to draft than offensive linemen, in my opinion. You can easily get a starter in round 3.
Yep,
easily.
Oh yeah,
like and they already have Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins too.
Yeah, and Donovan People-Jones was a 5th round pick, and he 6th round pick. Yeah,
6th round pick.
And he played phenomenal for the Browns later on in the season when he started playing. So you can get some good receivers.
Colin Johnson was pretty good for us for a little bit in the Jags. Like there are guys out there for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I do also agree. I want to echo that. I think last year's wide receiving class was great, and I think this year's could be just as good, which is pretty crazy to think about.
I think you'd be better, honestly. I think it's more top heavy because if Smith and Chase hit their ceilings, I mean, those guys could be 2 almost Hall of Fame kind of guys. I mean, they're really, really good prospects, and I think they both could have extremely good careers. And guys like Rashad Bateman, Jalen Waddle could be fantastic. I mean, there's a lot of really good players in this draft for wide receiver.
But you know what's interesting is that imagine if Jalen Waddle did not get hurt and he did play.
Oh man!
What would Devonta Smith even be at? Would he even be looked at this high in the draft? He probably would not even won the Heisman. Who knows?
No, he probably would be going around 15, 16 in mocks, 20s. I don't know.
Ooh, rough.
I will say for last year's thing, I feel like my top 3 of Judy, Jefferson, and Higgins could be just as good in the NFL as the top 3 here. I really think that. And a guy even Pittman could come in there.
You didn't have CD Lamb in your top 3 last year?
No, I didn't. No.
Oh, bad take. Get off my show, man.
Look, I have some different takes than people.
Hey,
you want some different
it's
things,
good.
Man.
No, I respect it. I'm not just giving.
I think he's in a great situation though. He's in a great situation in Dallas for sure.
I had Judy over Lamb, and
I did for a while, but I flip flopped. My final 3 were Lamb, Judy, Jefferson.
Yeah, I had Jefferson 3. Yeah. Because then I had Ruggs 4.
Yeah, I did as well. Yeah. I do strongly believe at this point we see Waddle get taken over Smith on draft night.
Which would be so sad.
Dude, speed rises on draft night. It's a consistent pattern. It always happens.
I think Smith also is just off people's boards. I'm not sure which people they're off, which boards it is, but I feel like he's just off someone's board.
There's got to be at least 2 or 3 teams out there where he's a 2nd round grade or lower because of his size. Gotta be.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then don't forget, speed kills. Darius Hayward-Bay. What's up?
Let's go. Darius Hayward-Bay. Wait, did we cut him? I feel like we did.
I think you guys cut him, and then he went to the Colts for a year. Yeah, he was out of the team for a year. I was like,
we were replacing someone way better with dude. Ray McLeod's a lot better than he is anyway. We don't need it.
Yeah, I was like, why is this dude on my team? But the
Steelers finally have a good kick returner after 5 years of just Ryan Switzer.
Oh, I love Ryan Switzer. I love watching him.
He's a great guy, but he's not the best football player in the world, unfortunately.
Yeah. And then, what other position do you guys think is? So I think offensive line and especially the tackles in particular, and the receivers are deep. What other position do you think is deep as well?
We're switching the background to the draft.
Nice.
Anyway.
Nice.
But sorry. Position?
So besides receivers and offensive line, what do you think? What other position do you think is real deep in this class?
Ooh, that's tough.
Is
there any quarterback? I guess you could argue.
Quarterback? Yeah, I mean,
there's 5 really quality guys.
So I guess, I go edge rushers too. I think the edge class here.
There's a nice edge.
Yeah,
I think edge is kind of top heavy in the way quarterback is kind of top heavy. There are 6 guys I really like, and kind of the same for quarterback.
And then once they're gone, it's a huge dip.
I think it's a big dip, but there's still guys you can get the 3rd or 4th that I like a decent amount. I think cornerback and safety are really deep. I think. I think cornerback is especially deep. Safety, I think there are some guys who have some really nice upside traits for sure. But cornerback, I feel like there are going to be a lot of guys in the first 3 rounds that are going to be definitely quality starters in the future.
How many of these quarterbacks are the top 5 guys, however you may interpret that? For me, that's Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Mac Jones. How many of the top 5 quarterbacks or the first round quarterbacks do you think will bust?
Let's see. I don't think Trevor Lawrence is going to bust.
I agree.
And I don't think Justin Fields will. Trey Lance might. And
I feel like he might be the most busty.
Yeah,
he has a big bust chance.
And I think what helps him is that he only had one season in North Dakota State, really, like one season. And then he had Carson Wentz kind of paved the way for a North Dakota State quarterback. So I just think Trey Lance is going to be the biggest bust. Mac Jones,
he could bust.
He could. He's got.
I think he's either going to bust or he's going to be really a lot better than people thought he was going to be.
Yep. And then Zach Wilson. I think Zach Wilson's a bust in my opinion. I don't know.
Shut your mouth.
I don't know.
I love Zach Wilson.
I know you do. And there's just something about Zach. I'm just kind of like.
He has bust traits, I would say, but his film just is fantastic. Yeah. He's so entertaining. I think he has an extremely high ceiling. He could be like a truly like cream of the crop quarterback.
Could be. There's something about Zach Wilson. I'm just kind of like, what am I missing? I don't see what people are seeing.
Man, he just has the arm talent, man.
Yeah, I know. I've seen the arm. I've seen it. It's just sometimes I look at competition too. Like that's why I'm not really high on Trey Lance either, because the competition he really faced wasn't really comparable to.
I see the Baker comp for Zach Wilson a lot, and I don't really agree. I think he's a lot more athletic and he's a lot more creative than Baker is.
Yeah, I think comparing those two doesn't really match up because, like you said, Zach does show more creativity compared to Baker. What Baker did, especially when Baker was in Oklahoma. But I don't know. Just Trey Lance, I feel the competition he faced is going to be a shocker. And if he goes to a team where he can sit for a little bit, like maybe Denver could be a good team, sits behind Drew Lock, starts. Yeah. That could be a good fit for him. New England as well. If he lands to the Patriots, sits behind Cam.
A possible really interesting draft night scenario is the Atlanta Falcons have not traded out yet.
Nah,
they're on the clock at 4, and the top 3 picks are going to be Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, and Mac Jones for this example. Justin Fields is on the board. The Atlanta Falcons are on the clock at 4. What are you doing if you're the GM of the Atlanta Falcons? I'm trading out.
Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, I'm trading out as well.
Ooh. Trade out.
Depends on how far I'm trading out. If I'm trading out,
you can trade out down to 10 or you can trade down to 9. Say the Broncos call. You trade down to 9. Pitts won't be there. But you can get like Rashawn Slater or something, and you get a first-round pick and a second-round pick extra.
I could probably
That's way worth it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it depends on
their franchise.
Now there's talks of getting rid of Julio Jones as well, which I feel is like every year at this point.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah,
I saw his contract earlier. It doesn't make any sense for them to trade.
Right.
Ethan keeps saying that the Bears are calling.
Bears are calling. I just think I don't know.
What a Bears move.
I just don't think if I'm the Falcons, if I'm trying to win right now, I think I'd take Pitts. But if I'm trying to build a little bit more, then back up. You can still probably you may even get a Jalen Waddle at that pick. Who knows? But I just think you want to at least give Matt Ryan a chance. If you're going to stick with Matt Ryan, give him a chance to show what he can, to give him a chance to try and win again. I mean, that 28-3, boy, that was rough. I live in Georgia. Yeah,
Ryan?
No.
Kyle Pitts isn't going to make the Falcons win games.
Hey, man.
It's going to be defense.
Sometimes you got to score more, okay?
They already have Julio and Calvin Ridley. I think if anything, they should trade back, draft like Mekhi Parsons or something, and then get an extra second-round pick, draft a running back there like Travis Etienne, and then build your future further.
Oh, no, get Najee Harris. I think
Najee won't be there in the second. He'll be going in the first, I think. He's going to my Steelers, baby. Come on home, Najee.
That's where he's going in the first. No, but I think Najee could potentially fall to the second, and I think he'd be a great fit for Atlanta.
He would be, but he's better for my Pittsburgh Steelers, baby. Let's go, Najee. Come on home. Ethan has a question. Should he go to his soccer practice or watch the NFL draft? I vote draft.
Draft. I mean, what's soccer? So.
He is really good at soccer. He plays varsity soccer for his high school team. But Ethan, if your parents let you stay home, stay home.
Draft, dude. Soccer draft. No, watch real football. I'm just kidding.
No, dude. Atlanta has to go all defense here. Like you can't really take Justin Fields and then sure they can take a running back too. I feel like running back you could take whatever and be okay. I like Mike Davis also, but you can't really take I feel you can't take a quarterback at 4 and have him sit for like 2 years behind Matt Ryan. Like that's a
I
long
think Matt
time
Ryan's too young. He's only like 35 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, in like 3 years from now, you're going to be looking at a QB of the future, but I think they could have a bit of a Jimmy Garoppolo situation there.
Yeah. I agree, though. I don't think you take a quarterback because the last thing you want to have Matt Ryan to deal with is fans and the media trying to say, "Oh, put in the rookie." Like Matt Ryan last year was not Matt Ryan's fault. Like that team sucked, and defense. Yeah, they need defense.
It was the defense. It was
defense. So yeah,
I also think that division is way more wide open now. I mean, Tampa Bay is very good, but like New Orleans won't be as good. I don't think.
Tampa Bay won't be good the second that Tom Brady retires too. So building a team, they'll be on the rise.
5 years from now, he'll retire. 5 years from now.
I think Brady's got 2 left in him. I think he's got this year and next year.
I've been saying that for the past 4 years.
I'm never going to speculate on Brady when he's going to quit, but God, I feel like this might be his last contract, but maybe not. I'm not here to speculate on that, to be fair. I also think, getting back to a little bit before, I think that also Lance is kind of the guy who would bust out of those guys because competition level isn't there, and I don't really. The film is okay, but I don't know how that translates. It definitely feels like it could be worse. And also for quarterback bust too, it depends a lot on the situation. Like if we see a guy like get ruined by an offensive line, or if we see a guy be mishandled, like the Jets mishandled Darnold, kind of feels like therein lies like the main busting stuff.
That's why with Mac Jones, when he goes to San Fran's a good team when they're healthy. He's gonna be in the best situation because
they're gonna bounce back next year.
They're gonna bounce back, and he's not gonna have to do too much and the offensive line is still good. They brought back with the probably best left tackle in the game, so it's like Mac Jones. It's like we were saying, either Mac Jones has either bust or really good on him. It's not really gonna be it's not gonna be in the middle. It's like he's gonna be really good or really bad. But I think he's gonna. Yeah, Trey Lance, the level of competition just sticks out to me. And I don't think he's going to be that good.
I think that you can make an argument that San Francisco could be a bit of an awkward transition to the NFL because I think we saw something similar with Tua last year where it's kind of awkward to be a rookie on a winning team. It's kind of interesting because they don't let you play as much as you normally would as a rookie quarterback and learn. You have to kind of win the game. Granted, Mac Jones is built for that.
Yeah,
but I still think it's an interesting adjustment. I think I tweeted about this earlier. My favorite rookie quarterback landing spot is Denver. Not going to lie. Kyle Shanahan does a lot of things for me for the 49ers, but Denver's weapons are disgusting. And they also
Denver's
have
a quarterback away. They're a quarterback away, man.
Yeah.
They are.
They're good. I do think, man, I think Fields
to Denver would be.
Yeah, I think Fields would be awesome to Denver. And those weapons, and they'd be all young. They all have years to just build together. And Chicago Bears not to be honest now. Anyways,
sorry, man.
Justin Fields, I think he would just light it up in Denver for sure.
Yeah, Absolutely. They're a quarterback away. Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, we're hitting about an hour mark, and I'll wrap things up for us. Thank you guys so much for coming through to court tonight. Jesse, I did not appreciate your Justin Herbert takes, but it's okay. We love you anyway. Thanks for coming out, boys. It was a fun time. And Ryan, enjoy your settlement for your lawsuit. I have no idea what that is, but you can figure that out on your own.
$25 Venmo. Thanks.
That would be funny though if we actually did wager on that. That'd be interesting. Anyway, have a good night, everybody. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow night for Fantasy Football Jeopardy. Should be fun. I have 3 really nice guests lined up. Should be a good time. So
sounds awesome.
I'll see you guys tomorrow, and have a good one. Bye, everybody.
Yeah, you too. Thanks.